So we are going through this whole process and looking at a few examples where people make various mistakes. Now, in this case, the sellers of properties, they make mistakes, and there's so many things that they don't know of and don't know about. And a lot of those can cost you a lot of money. So what is the mistake number 2 that we see so very often is that we're going to look at this now, but sellers, remember, it will cost you money to sell your property. We're going to have a look at a few examples here, and one example that I got here, it cost this seller about 1.2 million rand to sell his property. Now, obviously, a big part of that was due to the bond, but other costs that there are will be for your clearance certificates, and that can cost you a lot of money. Clearance certificates and then your certificates of compliance, especially if you have an old home. So before we delve into that, we're going to have a closer look to them all. Let's just recap at the first one we looked at last week. The first one that will cost you money, if you forget about this, is if you've got a loan over your property, you have to give the bank 90 days notice before you can cancel it. Otherwise, they will charge you a penalty. Okay, but let's look at this one. If you like this content, please subscribe to our channel. We're going to be posting a lot more of these. In the coming weeks, we're going to do long form podcasts as well, where we're going to look at taxes and things like that as well. Long discussions regarding all these elements. And we hope that it will help you to be more financially savvy and in your house buying process. Okay, let's look at this. Second mistake that sellers often make is they don't know what it will cost them to sell their property. Now remember, you are looking at, you bought your property a long time ago and you're thinking, okay, you and the estate agent, you figure out you're going to sell your property for 2 million rand. Now you are not going to get 2 million rand in your pocket. Okay? Firstly, if you used an estate agent, the estate agent will have to be paid. That gets subtracted by the conveyancing attorney, the transfer attorney, me, before the money is paid out to you. When you negotiate your fee with the estate agent, it's usually a percentage. But please, just calculate that percentage. Now, there's a big difference between 7.5% plus VAT and 125,000 rand. Okay, that just hits different. So make sure you know exactly how much you are going to pay to the estate agent. Just on that note, you can sell your property privately. Okay, that's a different matter totally. We'll get to that in videos to come. If you would like something on that, let us know. Okay, you're going to have to pay the estate agent. Then, if you've got a bond over the property, firstly, the outstanding amount on the bond will have to be paid. Whatever is outstanding to the bond. We get cases where there's obviously more outstanding on the bond that the house is selling for. You will have to pay in that money. Then, if a bond, not if, when the bond is to be cancelled, a bond cancellation attorney is appointed by the bank. And that bond cancellation attorney, he will have an account. And that account is usually in the region of about 4.5 to 5,000 rand, payable by the seller, you. Okay? Then, in terms of the contract and in terms of law, there's usually a few certificates of compliance that you as the seller have to provide. That is for the electricity certificate. Then, if applicable, you get the gas certificate, you get electric fence certificate, and certain provinces in South Africa, they require a plumbing certificate or a wood borer certificate as well. So there's quite a lot of things. But before this specialist in his or her area will give you the certificate, they must make sure everything is in order. And if it is not, the repairs will have to be done. I've had instances, especially with an electricity certificate, where it's quite an old house, and then the worst one I've seen, there's about 30,000 Rand in repairs that has to be done first. Then they issue the certificate. 30,000 Rand that you didn't plan for. Now maybe you can get ahead of these certificates before you actually sell your property, just to know what you're in for. You can get quotes from the service providers, or usually these certificates are valid for 2 years. So if you're going to know, or if you know you're going to sell your house in the next 3 months or something like that, you can already proceed to get these certificates in order. It will be valid for quite a while, and you've already incurred these expenses and you know what you are in for. So please prepare for those. Then, and this is a big kicker, if we lodge our transfer, your transfer, at the deeds office, we have to lodge a clearance certificate by the municipality that everything is paid for, they are happy, and then if it is applicable, let's say it's a sectional title unit or you're in an estate, there will be a body corporate or a homeowners association, and they have to issue a clearance certificate as well for the levies and give their consent for the transfer. Now you as the seller, you have to pay, usually give or take 3 months in advance on these levies, rates at the municipality, things like that, and that will obviously cost a few money. It could be in the region of 2,000-3,000 Rand, but in the bigger metropolitans, I've seen clearance figures at the municipality of 25,000 Rand that has to be paid. On the other hand, I see with lots of transfers of farms, especially in estates, that people have run up quite an account over a few years, and the municipality will not give their consent or obviously their clearance certificate if that is not paid. I have one now of an outstanding account of 100,000 Rand that has to be paid. So if you know there's issues on your property with the municipality, whatever, and you want to sell your property in the next few months, sort that out. Otherwise, it's going to be a big hamper on the transfer. So yes, in a nutshell, when you sell your property, there will be costs. Costs for you as the seller, and a lot of these costs you will have to pay upfront, especially the clearance certificates with the municipality, all these COCs, the certificates of compliance. Others get paid on day of registration, like the estate agent. So that's when you get your money, so you can actually, from your purchase price or from the sale, you can pay that estate agent, obviously the bond, and in certain cases, the bond cancellation attorneys as well. So, Mr. Seller, do you know what you are in for? Do you know what it will cost you to sell your property? Please make sure. We want this transfer process to be a great one for you. You are selling your house. You're probably going to buy a new house. This must be an exciting time. Let's be prepared. Let's know what we're in for. Let's budget for that. So it's easy to figure out what these things are, and you can plan for it. Be wise, be savvy, and make sure you have these things in place.